You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com. This episode is sponsored by Demand Derivatives, a startup futures exchange and clearinghouse trading the world's major assets in a creative new way. You already trade on an exchange. Here is your chance to own one. Before they approach large strategic partners for funding, the pioneering team at Demand Derivatives launched a crowdfunding portal so that regular traders have the chance to buy shares. Learn more and become a part of this revolutionary fintech project now at demandderivatives.com/crowdfunding. You wanted it, you got it. A radio program that helps teach you options trading inside and out, basic to complex. This is Options Bootcamp. Whether you want to learn how to protect your portfolio, generate income, or even become a master of volatility, the Options Bootcamp drill instructors will break it all down for you. Now, let's get you into peak options trading shape. Here are your Options Bootcamp drill instructors.
All right, everybody. That music means we are back once again for Options Bootcamp, doing things a little bit different. This time, I know a lot of you have been enjoying our top 5 episode countdowns from our various shows for the tumultuous, crazy, insane year. That was 2020. Well, guess what? We got one of those in store for you today with Options Bootcamp. So buckle in, grab a nice, tasty beverage, settle back, and see if your favorite episode made the list. Here we go. And starting things off at number 5. Your number 5 most popular, most downloaded, most streamed episode of Options Bootcamp for 2020. It was episode 104, Selling versus Buying Puts, and Why You Can't Trade VIX, released back on September 16th. What did we talk about on that episode? Well, a whole bunch of things, including the optimal skew shapes for trading collars. At the end of the day, you're better off selling puts or buying them. Why options open interest doesn't update more frequently than once every 24 hours. Spoiler alert, if you want a little bit more frequent updating, head on over to the world of crypto. Those exchanges don't mess around. They do a trade, they update the OI almost instantaneously. It's very, very impressive. We'd like to see that in the world of traditional options. And also, people wanted to know on that episode whether there was a way to trade the VIX directly, aka the VIX cash, rather than the future. Spoiler alert, no, there is not. And a whole bunch more. That was your number 5 most popular episode of Options Bootcamp for 2020. All right, I'm moving on to episode 4 on our top 5 countdown. That was episode 102, Gamma Scalping for Beginners, released back on September 2nd of last year. We dove into all the fun and joy that is gamma scalping. What the heck is it? The relationship between being long gamma and having to pay theta, hence the need to scalp, make some of that money back, when you should use it, and more importantly, when you, as the typical retail stock/options trader, probably shouldn't use it. Some examples and a whole bunch more. In the mail call, we answered some questions about skew data and educational programs. There you go, your number 4 episode of Options Bootcamp for 2020. All right, and continuing on with our top 5 countdown, your number 3 episode, most popular, most downloaded, most streamed episode of Options Bootcamp for 2020. What was it? It was episode 90. Let's talk iron condors. That was released back on June 10th. It was with myself, of course, my compatriot, Mr. Passarelli, and we extended an additional drill instructor spot on that episode to none other than Mr. Brian Overby himself, a.k.a. the host of Options Playbook Radio. I know a program a lot of you enjoy on this network as well. Well, what do we talk about on that show? Well, the name kind of says it all. Iron condors. What are they? Give you some examples of iron condors, when you want to use them, when you don't want to use them, and some mistakes people often make when trading iron condors. And that wasn't enough. In that extra special jam-packed episode, we also answered your questions about time spreads. So, a lot of fun goodness there for your number 3 overall episode of Options Bootcamp, episode 90, from June 10th of last year. All right, moving on with our countdown. Number 2 of our top 5 episodes of 2020. It was episode 96, Trading Options Around Earnings, released on July 22nd of last year. Myself and the black-hatted one dove into what else? Trading options around earnings. A very interesting, a somewhat contentious topic. Should you buy it? Should you sell it? If you're interested in this topic, I encourage you listeners to check out our website, theoptionsinsider.com. Click on the Options News and Articles tab. Once you're there, you'll find, completely free of charge, our earnings move results, and earnings season reports from our friends over there at ORAT. It's pretty much the best data in the game. You can't beat it, and you can't beat the price. It's completely free. So if this subject intrigues you at all, check out the episode if you haven't already, even though a lot of you have, and then head on over to our website to get the data. We talked about earning straddles, what they mean, what kind of movements they are implying, what that means for you, the trader, around earnings, all sorts of fun things. It's a good one. Check it out. Episode 96, Trading Options Around Earnings, your number 2 overall episode of Options Bootcamp for 2020. All right, and little drum roll, please. All right, there we go. It is time, listeners, the moment you've all been waiting for. Your number 1, most popular, most downloaded, most streamed episode of Options Bootcamp for the crazy year that was 2020. If I said to you right now, guess when that episode was released, you could probably guess it may have come out maybe around the height of the madness that was March. If you did so, you would be correct. And the answer to my little riddle would be episode 81, simply titled Our Pandemic Special, that was released on March 18th. So right in the teeth of the madness, listeners. It was far and away the most downloaded, the most streamed episode of the year. I wonder why. What else could we talk about? It was inescapable. We talked about what trades we liked, what setups, what strategies we thought were effective and what were not effective for the insanely volatile environment that we found ourselves in back in last March. Spoiler alert, we actually talked about buying straddles, and it wasn't a joke. We were serious, and it actually worked out. They actually made money. That's a difficult strategy to make work in the long term, listeners, but in insane markets, you could buy straddles in just about anything, and it pretty much paid off. And that's exactly what we talked about on that episode. So we also answered your questions about time decay, levered ETPs versus options, the impact of the Schwab TD merger on options traders, and a whole bunch more. So there you have it. Your number 1, most downloaded, most streamed, most popular episode for the absolutely bananas year that was 2020. It was episode 81, Our Pandemic Special. And on behalf of myself and the black-hatted one and all of our various sponsors and contributors who appeared on Options Bootcamp throughout the mad year that was 2020, I want to thank all of you out there for downloading and streaming and subscribing and sending in your questions and reviewing Options Bootcamp wherever you guys get it, the iTunes Store, Google Play Store, the app stores for our app, wherever you get the show. You guys were really above and beyond last year. You blew us away with your love for Options Bootcamp in 2020. So keep it all coming. We have a lot of fun stuff in store for you here for 2021. Hope you all staying safe, staying happy, staying sane in this already insane start to the year. And we'll see you back throughout the year with more fun episodes of Options Bootcamp.
This episode is sponsored by Demand Derivatives, a startup futures exchange and clearinghouse trading the world's major assets in a creative new way. You already trade on an exchange. Here is your chance to own one. Before they approach large strategic partners for funding, the pioneering team at Demand Derivatives launched a crowdfunding portal so that regular traders have the chance to buy shares. Learn more and become a part of this revolutionary fintech project now at demandderivatives.com/crowdfunding. You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.